Hey everyone, and welcome to my first one-off back from overseas. Been a long time coming, and starting next year, it'll be your boys back in the saddle again and serving up some fresh, hot new episodes. We got some really cool shit in the works for next month, so be on the lookout for that, and look forward to our reviews for movies coming out in 2018. Also, look for my best of the year list coming soon. Without further ado, on to the review. Oh boy, it's that time of the year again, baby. We got a new Star Wars out, and you bet your sweet puckered tushy I'm reviewing the hell out of that noise. I actually saw this in England the day before release, but I already packed all my shit to come home, so I had to wait to get home to do a formal review. The Last Jedi is an ambitious film. Not ambitious in the sense of some lunatic crossing the Delaware River to attack half an army of drunk Hessians kind of ambitious. In fact, it's kind of unambitious, but ambitious in the sense that it completely does away with almost all Star Wars conventions out there. That can be a good or bad thing if you're a Star Wars fan. I personally welcome change to the franchise. While I love The Force Awakens, I do agree with most criticisms that it's a pretty derivative film. I love Star Wars with all my heart, but I'm the first one there to acknowledge the problems that the franchise has. The Last Jedi manages to sidestep and improve on a lot of those problems, thanks to a tight script, incredible performances, and some top-tier directing. But this film also embraces some of the series' worst flaws, and when they show up on screen, they're pretty unavoidable. I'm keeping this bad boy spoiler-free, so don't worry. Right off the bat, the thing that I loved most about this movie is the performances. This is Adam Driver and Mark Hamill's film. Both deliver some of the finest performances of their careers. Some people may have called Kylo a whiny bitch boy in Force Awakens, but in this, he's fully matured into the role. He delivers such a conflicted performance and really sells what that character is going through. His arc is dynamic and enthralling, and every scene he's in just oozes hatred and self-doubt. Mark Hamill is amazing as well. This might be my favorite iteration of Luke Skywalker. He's so broken and detached in this film, and it's so heartbreaking to watch this legendary character beloved by millions, broken and reduced to a shell of his former glory. His arc in this film is wonderful. That's really all I can say without giving too much away, but Mark Hamill deserves nominations. Really everyone in this movie delivers a good to great performance. Oscar Isaac gets a lot more screen time, and they really developed his character, which was cool to see. Daisy Ridley was great as Rey, who's trying to find her place in this grand scheme of things. Andy Serkis is terrifying and commanding as Snoke. Carrie Fisher in her last time as Leia was funny and charming as usual. John Boyega, while he really didn't have that much to do in this film, was good with the material that he had. Laura Dern was great, and Benicio del Toro's character was really cool and interesting. Really just nice performances from across the board. The action sequences are balls to the wall rad as fuck. I can't spoil anything, but there are some of the most inventive action sequences ever in a Star Wars film here. All of them are thrilling and tense and expertly filmed, and by golly, Rian Johnson directs the shit out of them. The cinematography, gorgeous. This is the best shot Star Wars film since Empire. My god, some of the shots in this film are breathtaking. I'm gonna get some wallpapers on my computer from this flick because it's that gorgeous. And the CGI is always great, so there's no complaints there. Also, I really love the themes that are portrayed in this film, and they're beautifully realized. I also really love the structure of this film. It's kind of like Mad Max Fury Road in the sense that most of the action is centered around one event, but this film branches out to show other things happening, like Rey's training or Finn's bullshit thing that he's doing. But the main focus is the Rebels' fight against the First Order, and it's actually super compelling whenever we cut back to the Rebel plot. Now, I really love a lot of things about this movie, but there really is some god-awful shit in here. First off, there's one thing that happens with Princess Leia that's genuinely worse than anything that I've seen in the prequels, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And secondly, the second act of this film is a real chore to get through, and it feels like the least Star Wars-y part of the entire franchise. Now, that's not inherently a bad thing, it's just the execution of the second act could have been done a lot better. And they go to this like casino planet, and it looks like Earth basically. When I go to a Star Wars film, I want to see a weird and creative alien world. Instead, Rian Johnson chooses to make this place like the Bahamas on a busy summer evening. Why? For the blank slate that he could have used here, you'd think he'd make something more interesting. Also, this movie feels like a Marvel offshoot in terms of its humor. Some of the jokes land, but it feels like Joss Whedon came in last minute to reach the joke quota that Lucasfilm and Disney shoved onto Rian Johnson. Some of the jokes also don't land. It's kinda cringy. There's also this dumbass forced love interest thing that ruined the whole notion of an organic and budding friendship, and it was useless. Star Wars is about pushing boundaries, and shoehorning in this baseless and frankly dumb romance was a piss-poor move on Disney's part. What was also really disappointing to me was the lack of any iconic music from the sequel trilogy so far. A lot of the old themes show up, and that's great and all, but there's next to no classic tunes that I can remember from this film and The Force Awakens. It's really disappointing because I love John Williams as a composer, but the lack of any memorable music from a Star Wars film just really sucks. Overall, I really like this film, but it's flawed. Not deeply flawed, but flawed. I love Ryan's aversion to nostalgia and how he gave us the first really original Star Wars film since Return of the Jedi. Not many callbacks to the originals, and a focused story was really cool to see. I also loved his ambition to change up the formula a bit and deliver an emotionally gripping and moving film. I really didn't like some of the choices that he implemented though. Sometimes in the theater I wondered to myself how they let this stay in the final cut and not on the editing room floor. But the film, around all of these flaws, makes the price of admission well worth it. It's the performances, direction, action, visuals, and really great script that make The Last Jedi one of the best films of the franchise, flaws and all. I'm gonna give Star Wars The Last Jedi an 8 out of 10. I'm really looking forward to what Ryan does with his new Star Wars trilogy, and you know I'll be the first one in line to see it. I'm DeGe, and this is the Cinema Dash. Thanks for watching, everybody.